Oh, excuse me. Oh, Mr. James Dockery, KB, Flint Hill. How's everybody doing? There's Chad. Hope everybody's doing good on this rainy day we got. Excuse me. My eyes are watering. Oh. It's pouring rain, guys. Let me know if I don't have a good signal, please. Sometimes if it's raining real hard, the signal from the building to the house kind of sucks sometimes. I hope everybody's doing okay. Mr. Tracy Bingham from Lightning Bugs was going to be the guest tonight. Hey, Maurice and JR, Borscow, Size Matters Catfishing, Team Wampus Cat. I hope everybody's doing good. Yeah, Tracy is under the weather and had to cancel out tonight. So y'all are stuck with me tonight. There's Mike Greenwell. There's Slim, Avid. Guys, I hope everybody is doing good. Excuse me if I yawn a little bit on you tonight. I apologize. I was up all night last night. Didn't get much sleep. So we have a sick pet that getting ready to have to go to the vet for her final trip. So we was up all night with her. Anyway, there's Jay's, Great Outdoors, Maurice, Headhunters. Everybody, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up. Got 18 people and 2 thumbs up. If you don't mind, I appreciate it. Jawjacker, what's going on, my friend? Now, that's probably about what we're going to do tonight, to do some little jawjacking. I've got a couple questions to ask about you. Thank you about that, Mike. Yeah, she's 14, 15 years old, and she's got liver cancer, and it's done got to the point that we need to do what we got to do. Appreciate that. There's Palmetto in the house tonight. Jason. Wampus Cat had a heck of a today with the youngins out on the water. I hope y'all seen the post of them boys caught them a nice flathead. They passed a rod around. I can't wait to see the video. I know it's going to be a great video. There's Lyle in the house. We got a good group of people in here, guys. If we got any new ones, please share the bait around, share the love. There's Billy Davis. Met him the other day. He ordered some floats, and I delivered them to him. Met him about halfway between his house and my house. Great gentleman. Look forward to getting on the boat with him, or him getting on the boat with me. There's Hillbilly. So, guys, Chunky Cats is in the house. Got to catch the last little bit of his live show the other night. Last night. Great live feed. Hooked on Cats and Mr. Terry Rogers. What's going on, Terry? A lot of great guys in here. But I've got a few things to ask about you. Some of it's got to do with my new bobbers that y'all getting ready to see come out. I'm still doing some work on them, trying to figure out some things on it. And I do like to... Oh, it said 3 little boys fighting 1 38-pound flathead. I know that was fun. Gonna make great video. Mr. Flint Hill, how you doing, my friend? Is it September yet, Terry? Kevin B, new face in there on the kayak. Man, I tell you what, it ain't done nothing but lays down some rain. It's all we're getting around North Carolina lately, just rain. It's all we've got for the past 2 years around here, guys. But yeah, we'll probably do a little tackle talk, if you don't mind. Some questions I want to ask y'all about a few things. Out of everybody that's in here, we got 29 people in here. Appreciate you coming in. Yep, Tropical Storm, Bertha, coming up. We got 30 people in here. What I want to ask is, how many of you, there's D, how many of you in here actually use floats for catfishing, running late fishing. What's going on? Sorry I didn't get a hold of you last week to get that cup and hat to you, my friend. Need to get a hold of me. Buckeye Catfishing, Kentucky Catman's in the house. I want to know how many of you out here actually use the floats for catfishing, whether it's my type float, Chris Flores's float. I know of 2 other of the pool noodle floats out there on the market. And there's some other type floats also, but I'm just curious as how many actually Kentucky. I'm getting closer to yours, my friend. I'm getting closer. I really am. And how do you use them? Whisker stick bobbers. I'm not holding up. All right, Jays. Hadn't used them yet. Planning on trying it. Dude. There's Catmandu. Times above cover. Afraid of losing them. Yeah. Got a trolling motor on the kayak. Waiting on the number. Got you. You've won tournaments with floats on lakes. Good. Picked up a 14-pound channel. Dadgum right. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, Betty Jean? Looking forward to using them. All right, guys. There's Brandon in the house. Appreciate that, Lyle. The reason I'm asking is that like I said, I know of 4, maybe 5 of the pool noodle floats that's out there on the market. And I didn't know how many of people have actually tried them or used them or how you use them. I mainly always thought of using them in shallow water. But the more that I talk with people, the more that I see that there's at least 3 jobs that a float or bobber, whatever you want to call it, has. One is a strike indicator, a bite indicator, or whatever. The other is floating your bait around at a certain depth. And, I just had a brain fart. The other is actually very precision placement of your bait, setting it at certain depths. If you're marking fish that is suspended, I'm trying to keep up with Chad. It's flying. Shallow water and in deep water. That's what I'm talking about. Very, very accurate placement of baits can be used with a float. If you got some deep structure, say a brush pile down there, you mark some flatheads or even blues or some big channels in that brush pile, then you can actually, there's Bill of Rights in the house, about 3.5 feet. There you go. Won the Muddy River catfishing from Chris on my show. I don't think you won any of the bobbers from Chris on my show. I don't think he offered any of them up yet. Which if he does, he does. That's fine. Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I think people are missing out using a float of some type catfishing. 2 years ago when I caught my 44, I had actually marked big fish coming in, but they were suspended. I was in about 30 foot of water, 32 foot of water, but they were suspended about 18 foot. So the only bobbers I had was the little round bobbers, the long, skinny round bobbers, and I throwed them out and set them at about 18 foot and let them float around and end up catching 9 fish that night on the float. Now, the 44, it come off of the bottom. But, I hear you, Mike. There's big nasties in the house. So there's different ways to use a float, guys. You can use it in shallow water. You can use it with live bait, cut bait. I think a float is another tool in your arsenal for chasing catfish. You, especially in people talking about you don't like using them in rivers or current. Actually, current can help you place these floats in next to outside of a brush pile with good cut bait or live bait. But I like using cut bait and with a little bit of current, because then you can take and just flick it out there, let the current carry that float right down there next to the brush pile, and then you lock it in. There's muskrat in the house. Avid. When you do that, you're placing that bait in front of that brush pile in the head of the current. So that means all that smell is being washed right into your brush pile. That means the fish are going to, when they're ready to start feeding, they're going to come out looking for that bait. And if you have that placement, and if you're at night, you got a light, then you'll be able to see that hit. Another way, when me and Richard went out, I was testing out another one of my bobbers that I haven't yet got it perfected. It'll do what I want it to do. It looks like I want it to look. It just is not what I want it to be when I release it. I recall them. Yes. So that way, when me and Richard went out, maximum weight, the floats will support. The regular size floats, and guys, I don't throw a lot of weight with a float, just enough to get the bait down. About 2 ounces is the most that I would throw with it. You could run 4 ounces underneath the bobber. I done a test, and this bobber will hold up. It'll stay just above water, about right here, with 9 ounces of nothing but lead underneath it. Now, guys, everybody's concerned about throwing big baits. Big baits, any bait, cut bait or whatever. What's up, Mr. Trey Cunningham? Yes, sir. Any of your cut baits and stuff like that don't weigh a whole lot in the water. It weighs a lot out of the water. But once you throw it in that water, it's almost buoyant. So it really does not affect how much the float will hold up. It's how much lead that you actually have on your line. It's actually how much lead you actually have on your line is what's going to determine how deep this sinks. Yeah, your bait's got a little bit of pull on it, but very, very little. I stuck big chicken breast or whatever I had here underneath this without any weight on there, and it was not even hardly enough to make the float stand up. It was the weight itself, the sinkers itself, that actually made it sink. I like a float back in the structure. Yes, that's what I was going to say. There's PD in the house. But when I went out with Richard, what we done, we had current that night. Didn't get a hit, but I had a big old brim about the size of your hand, maybe a little bit bigger. There's Alan in the house. And I fed my line out till he got right over top of that brush pile. The brush pile, I think, was like 16 foot deep. I set my bait at 14 foot. And the whole night, that brim just swam back and forth right over top of the brush pile. If there would have been any flatheads in that brush pile that night, it would have definitely come up and grabbed that bait. The downside of putting bait swimming over top of brush is that you need to be a float watcher, because he grabs it. He's probably, once he feels that hook, he's probably going to try to dive right back into the brush pile. So you got to be on your toes to grab him. Woo, there's Mr. 812. All right. Now, I realize that these floats are heavy. Are light. Are light. Even the other ones that I make that's got the PVC in it, this is one of the newer ones, so I'll show you that in a second. They have very little weight on them, but they have a lot of wind resistance. So you will not get the casting distance that you might be wanting to achieve. with a float. The red, white, and blue bobber that I'm working on, I got these in the other day. They're a lot skinnier. So that's the reason I'm making them longer. I'm doubling the length of them to get the same amount of buoyancy. But I got a feeling these are going to cast a little bit further because of less wind resistance when they're traveling this way on your line. I use a plain Carolina rig when I'm throwing a float. Reason being, right now, my main rig is like a Santee rig, but it has a fixed sinker on there. So the sinker does not slide up and down the line. But with the rods that I know that I'll be throwing floats on, I've already got the bobber stops on there. I already got my extra beads and everything on there. What I do is tie a regular Carolina rig because it seems like a rig with a fixed sinker on there, it wants to helicopter. Now, it may or may not affect the way it hits the water. I have a concern that it might want to tangle when you started getting that flipping around and around in the water. JR got his PB last night. Well, congratulations, JR. So that's the reason I recommend using just a plain Carolina rig. But it seems like to me it just makes it easier to cast. But let's go ahead and go with this. I'm getting ready to come out with generation 2 of my floats. I hear you, Michael. I never even thought about that. This is just a prototype. I don't have the solid floats pool noodles come in yet. I ordered solid pool noodles that do not have a hole in them. They're solid all the way through. That's going to be the generation 2 floats that I'm coming out with. I made one today. I just cut out some green pool noodle and stuffed it in the center. This float does not have PVC in it. You will be able to step on it, walk on it, run over it, whatever you need to do, and you will not be able to destroy or bust like the ones with the PVC in there. If you step too hard on them, you might crack or bust that PVC inside. I think it's pretty tough. I think you ain't going to bust it, unless you try to intentionally bust it. My concern is the way I'm doing it is they are real light. So I'm going to make some first. This has actually come with holes in them. I just put the plugs in it. I made me some plugs and stuck in it to show y'all how it's going to look. But these will be solid when I send them out. And the red, white, and blue ones will be the generation 2. There is no PVC or nothing in there. And it'll still be, all you got to do is turn it. And the light comes on. Turn it, light goes off. The swivel's still on the bottom like we need. Yeah, I got the red, white, and blue ones in about 3 or 4 days ago, Palmetto. But they were a smaller diameter than what I thought I had ordered. Yes, I mean, you think about it, guys. There are so many fish that are swimming right underneath the surface of the water out there feeding. Because look at how many jugs fishermen throw jugs out. It's got like 2 foot of line on there. There's Glenn coming in the house. I've chased daggum 1 gallon milk jugs or 1 gallon Clorox bottles all over the daggum lake and see them just disappear. And when we finally caught them, now we didn't take the fish off of them because they was not our jugs. They had 2 foot of line, maybe 3 or 4 at most. We got 49, 50 people. We got 50 people in here tonight. We'll give away a set of bobbers here in just a minute. Wait till 8:30 and we'll give a set of floats away in chat. So, guys, make sure you keep chatting with each other. You got to be in chat. You got to be, yes, Muskrat, it's going to be virtually indestructible. Now, I'm sure you can take a pocket knife and cut them open. I mean, it's a pool noodle. Guys, it's a pool noodle. Yeah, Buckeye, we'll give a set of floats away here in just a little bit. But yeah, it will be virtually indestructible. It will be tough, but it will be light. Oh yeah, Palmetto. I mean, I know it's and I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate everybody, each and every one of you that come in and support this channel, guys. And I appreciate you supporting each other. There you go, 812. I can't wait to see that daggone video coming out. I appreciate it, Flint Hill. And I'm not advertising, guys. I'm just telling you what I'm working on. So if you do decide to get them, and guys, you know, that's another thing I wanted to discuss. There's been some controversy with some people that's accused me of making knockoffs from the Chris Flores floats. Me and Chris have talked. There is Jays, I appreciate it if we kind of keep the bashing another product down. I understand, but that's not what this is about. I want to promote everybody. Everybody's Whisker Whipper. What's up, Whisper? Chris makes a great float. He's got great rods. He's got great products. Lightning Bug come in here tonight. I know he was sick. He wasn't able to talk. Yes, and I used the lightning bug on him. And you get a hold of it, you really need to try them. It's a different tool in your tackle box, buddy. Just a different tool. We all can use them extra little bitty tools. You never know when you might come up to a situation that you need them. But what I'm saying, guys, is that me and Mr. Flores have talked. He's got a great product. He promotes it like he should. I've been accused of making knockoffs. Guys, y'all have seen the ones of y'all that's been with me since day one, just like Kentucky Catman. The first bobbers I sent out were not strong enough. Kentucky threw his out with pretty good weight on there and a pretty good sized piece of bait, and it pulled through and the float floated off. Luckily, he didn't have his lights in it, so he wouldn't lose his lights. Y'all have seen the progression of my floats. Y'all know me good enough to know that I'm not going to copy anybody's stuff on purpose. I never owned any catfish floats except my own. So me and Chris had talked. He agreed that, you know, everything's good, that actually competition does make people step up to make their product better. I told Chris that I knew that my floats would evolve. That's right. It's a free enterprise, guys. But competition is good. It's caused me to want. I'm always looking to better anything I do, whether it's in my gold mining, whether it's in life, period. You should always look to better yourself, better a product. If you're producing a product, always willing to step up and take that next step to a better you or better product. Because if you don't, guys, you're going to fall behind. It just like the first floats that I made, Kentucky, it failed with him. I asked for feedback. Carl, what I do when I send out the floats, I also send out a bobber stop and extra beads to put on your line. With that bobber stop, you can set it at any depth that you want to set it. And all you have to do when you put that extra bead and extra bobber stop on your line, you add this to your line also. And it just stays on there. You don't have to, you don't have to dedicate a rod to a float. Just leave this little piece on there with the bobber stop and the extra beads. So if you come up to a situation, you say, I need a float for that. You reach in your tackle box, tackle bag, whatever, grab your float out, hook it onto your line, clip it. That's a heavy duty stainless clip. And then you're ready to float fish, guys. You're ready to float fish. As simple as that. I got to turn the AC on. I'm about to die in here. It's hot. Excuse me. Oh. I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Just sat up here in this building and got hot. It's been closed up all day. Need to order you some pink ones. Order up. I'll get them out to you. I got plenty of pink. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it, ladies, also. Yeah, it's definitely hot in here. Old building's been closed up all freaking day for the past day and a half. So, yeah, it is hot. It's muggy in here, too, all this rain. So, guys, that's what I was talking about. Do you think now, the question I want to ask is, when I order the solid floats, do you think that I need to go with a smaller diameter and make them long, or the fatter diameter and keep them short? I think the longer will cast better, but that's what I want to ask y'all's opinion about, because I've got the solid ones coming, but they did not say what size, and I was assuming that they was this size. I'm hoping that they are. I appreciate that, Flint Hill. I do. I really appreciate that. Keeping the money local. I love that idea. By no means am I saying that one float is inferior to the other. I'm not saying that mine's better or worse or whatever. I just say that it's a enterprise, American enterprise, that everybody's got a product. And all right, that's cool, Kentucky. Hey, I'm not saying short and fat, Lyle. I'm not saying that at all. Glow flow bobber into it. It works great for casting. Yeah, that'd be okay if I didn't have a light in it. Understand what I'm saying? There you go. We need to support each other out here in the catfish world. There's room for everybody. There's Vanessa Kitty. I hadn't seen her in here in a while. Margaret, we got a bunch of ladies in here. We need to set them up with some pink floats. Sure do. Oh, I missed something somewhere. No, Big Nasty ain't no short rat rascal. He's about 7 foot tall. Jeff, your aquarium is turning out great. It looks good, my friend. It looks good. So, guys and gals, I do appreciate your input on this, because y'all are fishermen. Y'all give the input that I need to make decisions on how I want to go forward with a product. There you go, James. There you go. That K-Bug, she knows how to catch them. Yeah, he probably would. Yeah, we've We've had our share of rain today. There's Anna in the house too. 80% chance tomorrow. See, guys, this rain is killing me, killing everybody. Trying to get the boat into the water there. I'm telling you, PD, I can't even get my homework done, guys. I've got so much junk to do. To get equipment out here on my land, I will tear this place all to pieces, and I need to do it to get finished so I can get my tail back on the water. I have to wrap fluorescent tape around it. And I'm going to look into that, Carl, so that if you throw it out there and the batteries happen to go out in these, that you can still throw a flashlight across the water and see it. Plus, the man I met the other day, he was talking about, can he move his baits while using these bobbers? And by all means, Billy Davis, he's in here. By all means, that was a great idea, because when you start reeling your baits in using a float, your bait is going to come up off of the bottom before the float starts moving. If you're not getting any bites, and say you got it up against the bank and 15 foot off the bank, the water starts dropping down pretty steady, then you pull it up and then drop that bait at the top of that drop off. And if you're not getting no bites and they're running lower on it, pull it a little bit further and let your bait drop down even further onto that the ledge. So guys, there's just so many different ways and so many different techniques you can use with floats. Just don't forget to add a lot of different tools to your toolbox, because it takes different tools at different times of the year to catch catfish. Be fishing above it. Covers and stay home, rain. What kind of bobber stops are you using? Carl, I actually use good. I don't have none up here, so I could not tell you the name of them. I do use good, thick string bobber stops. I cannot find the ones that'll go over like 30-pound test line. I've got some that said it'll go over 30, but I keep breaking line trying to get it, or break it, the little wire that you pull it up through there. For some reason, I haven't found any yet, though. At least 30-pound test mono will go in it. Yes, the DOT tape would work good. The only thing I'm concerned is that it will start peeling off. And if you try to go ahead and pull it off and add another piece on there, that it will tear the foam itself. When that glue on most of them stickers, Carolina Cat Daddy's in the house. Good to see you. I'm just concerned that tape will attach so hard to this. If it does start peeling up or looking bad, then you'll want to change it. And then when you want to change it and you try to pull it off, I'm scared that it will tear the foam pretty good. So how do you like the 3-color, guys? These right here, I put them together today. I was concerned. I've got one at the house right now floating in a sink full of water. I want to make sure that the adhesive, the contact adhesive I use to put these together, will stand up to moisture. I'll let it soak in the sink for days to see what happens. Because I know once you get them out in the water, get them back on the boat, and you go home, make sure you put them in a bag, guys, because you going down the road or going down the lake, guess what? These things are light. They'll get airborne and they'll be gone. Bobber stops don't work well. Double up your string stops. Yeah, I've just the bobber stops that I send out with these floats, and you can buy your own, is that it's a thicker string. So now it goes through your eyes a little bit tougher, but it don't slip. And plus, I send two different size beads. I send the original bead that comes with the bobber stop, which has a small hole, and then I send the next one out. The next one with it, which has got a little bit bigger hole, but it's a bigger bead for everything to stop and not slide around on. But guys, that's it for floats. I just wanted to discuss stuff with you. What time is it? It's 8:30. Why don't we give a set of floats away in chat? Let me pull everything up right here. Turn the volume off. I don't want to hear myself talk. All right, guys, start chatting up. Start chatting up. We're getting ready to roll her on down. And guys, the way I do is the way Palmetto, I talk to him, how do we do it, is I take chat. That's why I tell you to talk each other, because I'm going to pull you out of chat. If you're not talking to each other and you're not sharing the love, guess what? You don't have a chance to get picked. With that being said, Margaret Knight, you want a set of pink bobbers. Margaret Knight, look me up on Facebook. Look me up on Facebook under James Smith. Hit me up on Messenger, or you can text me at 704-600-8369. Congratulations, lady. Congratulations. The red, white, and blue ones ain't quite ready, lady. I will let everybody know when they are ready. We get it up to 60. That means Lyle wants us to share this live feed, guys, so we can get it up to 60. And Lyle's got a set of bluegill jigs he's ready to give away. Congratulations, Margaret. Yeah, definitely look me up on Facebook under James Smith. And if you can't find me on James Smith, because there's a ton of us in America, look me up on you can go through Patriot Catfishers of America Facebook channel, and you can get it. You can get me through there. Peanut butter jelly time. I ain't had a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich in a long time. So, anyway, congratulations, Margaret. Look me up. Send me your address. All right, Carl. I got your message. I will. I got a lot of friends right now that's looking for pontoon boats, buying pontoons and stuff. But I will definitely stay around and let people know. So, guys, what are you looking at as far as the spawn? Wampus Cat was on the water today and said Lake Wiley, where he was at, was just 70 degrees. That's April temperatures. Said they caught quite a few blues right around the 20-pound mark, and they was just light colored blue catfish. Didn't have no spawning marks on them. When it's almost the 1st of June, and these cats should be getting ready to spawn. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, Palmetto. But I'm seeing some people in the lower part of the lake that that are catching some knotted up fish, some tore up fish. So I don't know. I don't know what is going on. I know that water temperature has a lot to do with it, but I also know that the amount of daylight also has something to do with it. I always, like for crappie, we always went by the dogwoods blooming. As soon as I seen the dogwoods start budding up and the buds just about ready to bust open was when we knew the crappie was headed for the banks. I think there's a lot of stuff like that you can use to help kind of predict when things happen. But who knows? I don't think there's just not enough study on the catfish for us to really make that choice. I'm sorry, I'm missing something. Guys, that chat's flying. I appreciate it. Oh, I appreciate it. So when channel cats are blue color, thinking they're getting close too. Yeah, I don't see. I'd like to know. I wish somebody could give me a definite answer as what cat spawns first. I'm sure they all spawn pretty close about the same time. A catfish waits till the water is teeming with life before they do. But I always wonder which ones you timed out, James. Well, I wonder why you timing out, Jeff. You shouldn't unless somebody timed you out, and they shouldn't have. Hold up a minute. Where are you at? You shouldn't be timed out. That's for sure. Channel cast first, blues, and then flatheads. That's kind of what I've always thought, but I was not sure. And I've heard some other people say flatheads go first, but I don't think so because the flathead bite has been on fire around here. Oh, oh, that was your fault then, wasn't it, Jeff? Not mine. I was concerned I'd done something. You seen them go at the same time. That I mean, I don't know. Catfish is a funny animal. That's why we love them. That's why we chase them. They start at 69 in Illinois. That's what I'm saying, guys. The water temperature is behind this year, which might extend the bite out on into June because 2 years ago, I caught my big 44, and she had just come off the bed. She was beat up, didn't have no belly on her. She was starving, where she had been spawning and laying eggs for a while, and that was in the 1st of June. We're getting ready to hit the 1st of June, and I'm only seeing a few catfish pictures being posted up in videos that are beat up. I know Matthew Anthony was catching some the other day that was pretty beat up. Them fish was pretty beat up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's whether them fish, maybe they was fishing deeper water and the fish was up very shallow. I know today I talked to a couple of guys that was out fishing on Wiley, and they was catching fish in 2 and 4 foot of water. Very shallow. What's up, Mr. Strawberry's in the house tonight? The legend himself, the Lake Wiley legend. Well, all around these lakes. That's one man I want to get on the boat with, too. That's for sure. You don't live too far from him. I might have to hook up with him one night or one evening and go. So, guys, tell me, I mean, what time of year do y'all prefer to use the floats for catfishing? What time of year do y'all prefer to use floats? I know Richard Warskow team Keeping It Real, which is not in here tonight, says he prefers to use them in fall. Anytime you're ready. I hear you, Strawberry. I will give you a holler. I'm about to die to want to go. Caught a few on the river, 18. Fishing Big Nasty with gar. Big Nasty, the gar on the kayaks or spring through fall. Night fishing. Yeah, Strawberry, he's good people. Good people. Summer when it's hot. You know, I'm hearing fall, I'm hearing spring, I'm hearing summer. why not wintertime, guys? Why not when they're hunkered down and very slow to bite? Throwing that bobber out there, letting it float right above them fish laying on the bottom. Let the bait come to them. Don't rule out any tool in your arsenal. Don't rule it out. There's always different techniques. That's why, just like Chris, when he was on the show that night talking about his floats, that the way his buddy Parrish uses them and the way Chris uses them was two different ways. But now Parrish uses it the way that Chris used it at his place. So what technique don't work for me might work great for you. But if you tweak that technique just a hair, no matter whether it's Carolina rigging, whether it's Texas rigging, whether it's daggum Santee rigging or Kentucky rigging, sometimes if you just think a little bit, say, well, if I do this, then it'll do that. And that might have been what you've been needing the whole time. I like the Kentucky rig. I like the idea of my sinker on the bottom, a hook above the bottom, and then the next one up. The Santee rig with the big demon dragons or rattling shads or whatever you choose to use will float them up off of the bottom. That works great also. But this way, you can add two baits on your Kentucky rig at two different levels. That means that the fish are not really wanting to come up off of the bottom and chase something that's floating higher in the water column, then you can use that Kentucky rig to help tell you that. Let the technique that you're using, let your baits, your technique stuff tell you about what the fish want. Live on the bottom. That's a pretty good idea, Justin. I didn't even think about that. Now on your live bait, do you usually tie a shorter little old leader on there so he don't have that option of trying to tangle up, or how do you do that? But that's what I'm saying, guys. It don't matter what technique you're using. Let the fish tell you what it wants. I learned a little something like old Dieter talks. He throws small baits, big baits, medium baits, some with Carolina rig without a float, some with just a float, and some with like the demon dragons. And he spreads them out. And if you start seeing there's Jeff. What you going on, Jeff? Appreciate the share today, buddy. Appreciate the share. If you start catching more fish, leave it the same length and let it wiggle. There you go. Yeah, them daggum catfish ignore me a lot. They ignore me a lot. I have good days.